All right, so today we're diving deep into abstract art.
Sounds good.
And specifically, we're going to be looking at a piece called Interior Body.
Interesting title.
Yeah, you can actually find it over at abstractprints.shop if you want to follow along.
Yeah.
Um, and when I say abstract and I say interior body, it might not make a whole lot of sense, but just picture this, okay? We've got bold geometric shapes,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just bathed in this really warm golden light.
Huh. Interesting.
And lucky for us, there's this really in-depth analysis that we can use as like a guide.
A guide. Nice.
So we're going to unpack all the symbolism and the techniques and really
Sure.
try to figure out what's going on in this piece.
I like it.
And hopefully by the end, you'll be looking at abstract art with like a whole new appreciation.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that people struggle with the most is, they look at abstract art and they're like, I don't get it.
Right.
What is this? My kid could do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there's so much depth
So much.
when you start to really look at it.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to do today. So
Awesome.
let's jump right in. So first, let's describe what we're actually looking at here.
Okay.
Interior body. Okay, so we have these three overlapping circles,
All right.
and they're arranged vertically
Vertically.
on this background, and the background is golden yellow.
That's pretty striking, right?
Yeah, it's unusual for abstract art.
Definitely.
And then within each of these circles, we've got these arcs, almost like brushstrokes,
Yeah.
but they're in black, white, and gray,
Huh.
and they're layered, and they're semi-transparent.
Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to picture this.
It's interesting because the composition itself is static,
Right?
but you get this sense of movement, almost like a subtle vibration.
Yeah, I think that semi-transparency is really doing a lot of work there.
I think so, too.
It makes it seem like you're looking through layers, like peering into something hidden.
Yeah, and it makes you want to figure out what's beneath the surface.
Exactly.
And it makes you think about not just what's going on in the artwork, but maybe what's going on within ourselves as well.
Like what's underneath our own surface.
Exactly. And that kind of brings us to the title, right?
Yeah, interior body.
Interior body. What do you think when you hear that title?
Well, I immediately think about introspection, like looking inward,
Totally.
focusing on the self.
Yeah, it's all about like a journey inward.
Exactly.
And I think the way the piece is laid out visually really reinforces that.
Oh, definitely.
We've got these circles and, on one level you could say they're abstract,
Sure.
but you could also see them as representations of the human body.
I see that. Or even the psyche.
Or even the psyche. Yeah, with the way they overlap.
Then mirror each other.
Yeah, it's hinting at the complexity and the interconnectedness of...
Our inner world.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really interesting, too, how the artist chose that golden yellow for the background.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not a color you see a lot in abstract art.
It's definitely intentional.
It feels very intentional and it feels powerful.
Absolutely. I think it conveys a sense of optimism.
Oh, interesting.
Illumination, like there's light there.
Yeah.
Golden yellow is often associated with creativity,
Oh, yeah?
vitality, and even spiritual awakening.
Wow.
It's almost like the artist is highlighting the potential that's inside all of us.
That's a cool way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all darkness and shadows, right?
Right.
There's this vibrancy there.
Yeah, and it's interesting how that vibrancy contrasts with the more like subdued tones within the circles.
Yeah, like the black, white, and gray you were talking about.
It's like there's light and potential, but there's also
Depth.
depth and introspection.
And maybe a touch of mystery.
Ooh, I like that. A touch of mystery.
It's like they're saying, hey, there's good stuff in there, but there's also some stuff you got to work through.
Right, it's the full picture.
Exactly, the full spectrum of the interior body.
It's so good.
Not just the shiny, happy parts.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about how the artist actually achieved all of this. Because it's a very minimalist approach, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's minimalism all the way.
So for people who maybe aren't super familiar with art, what does minimalism actually mean?
So basically, minimalism is all about getting rid of the unnecessary. It's about focusing on just the essential elements to create an impact.
And you can really see that in this piece.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got the queen lines, the limited color palette.
And that strategic use of transparency.
Right. There's no clutter, nothing to distract you from the core message.
Yeah, it's minimalism with a purpose.
I like that. Minimalism with a purpose.
And I think it's really effective because it leaves space for us
The viewers.
to bring our own interpretations to the piece.
Exactly.
We can engage with it on a much deeper level.
It's like it becomes a conversation
Oh, that's good.
between the artwork and the observer.
And I think that's when abstract art really comes alive.
100%.
When you feel like you're having that dialogue with it.
Yeah, and you're not just passively looking at something, you're actively thinking about it.
Exactly. And you know what else I noticed about this piece?
What's that?
The precision of the geometry.
Oh yeah, those circles are perfect.
They're perfect.
Inverculated.
It's not just like random placement.
No, it's very deliberate, and I think that feeds into the meaning as well.
How so?
Well, that geometric precision, it reinforces a sense of order, harmony.
Yeah.
And, we often associate those things with a balanced inner self.
Right, like finding equilibrium
Exactly.
in the self.
Yeah, so it connects back to that theme of introspection that we talked about before.
It all ties together.
It does.
So as we start to wrap up this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the key takeaways that we can all kind of walk away with today?
All right, well, first of all, I think this piece really shows how much thought and intention goes into a composition that seems simple at first glance.
Right, it's deceptive.
Right, and it's not just throwing paint at a canvas.
There's a reason for everything.
Everything's there for a reason, and it's all working together.
Yeah, the colors, the shapes, even the title.
Yeah, it all evokes a feeling.
It starts a conversation.
And it makes you think.
Yeah, and I think ultimately interior body encourages us to look beyond just the surface.
Of the art, but also of ourselves.
Yes, exactly.
It makes us think about the complexities and the nuances that are inside us.
And in the world around us.
And it also reminds us that sometimes the simplest forms can hold the most profound meanings.
It's true. Sometimes it's the simple things that really get you thinking.
Absolutely.
So the next time that you're looking at an abstract piece,
Don't just observe it.
don't just observe it, engage with it.
What's it making you feel?
What emotions come up?
What stories do you see in it?
Yeah, what's your interpretation?
And your interpretation is valid.
It's just as valid as anyone else's.
That's the beauty of abstract art.
Yeah.
It's a journey of discovery for the artist and the viewer.
And with that, I think our deep dive has come to an end.
A very insightful end.
I hope you learned something.
I did, for sure.
All right, and we'll see you next time
Sounds good.
for another deep dive.
Awesome.
Bye.
See ya.